Hello, we are here. We're just having a bit of an issue with Zoom. I've forgot I'd moved it, so I'll quickly move that. We've not actually started yet, but hello everyone in the chat. And we'll just fix this. Get this zoomed down a bit. Zoom. I've got loads of them. Right, that should be nice and lined up. You can see that the bit when I'm speaking, unfortunately, but never mind. There's no way to get rid of that. Okay, that'll do. Not ideal, but it'll do. Oh, and Papa Stu's been kicked off. Brilliant. That's why it was changed, because it was me, you, and Ali Stewart, and it was 4 of us, and that's why it was different size. So I'll change it to that. Da 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 da. Pass me another fucking bottle. That's what it is. Yeah. So I'll hide that head in and just. Okay. Not the best start for the new season, like you say, Craig, but yeah, this will have to do. Right. So before let's preview the topics that are coming up, I'll get them resized. Sorry, Papa Stu, you're not getting back in. We're starting without you. Yeah, I know. Not saying anything bad. What, Papa Stu or Stuart? Stuart, can you try to say something? No, it's not picking up. Why is it not doing that? Craig, can you speak again?
No, the Twitch isn't picking me up either.
Fixed it.
Fixed it. Can you hear? Can you get our audios coming up for there, mate? Now, yeah.
I'll wait. It'll come 20 seconds. It'll come through.
We'll check in 20 seconds and then we'll get started. Thank you everyone that's in the live chat. Hi everyone. We're just about to start. I will go onto YouTube and edit this down. If you're watching it back on Twitch later, a bit of it behind the scenes for you, but happens from time to time.
Exactly.
So,
That's it now.
Oh, good stuff.
Nice. Okay. Right. So I'll get started and we'll just fire on. I'll have to do it with 3 of us. I'll need to speak a bit more, which we're talking about David Gray, so I'm sure I'll be fine with that. Okay. Hello, you're listening to Hibs Talk. Joining me today is Craig.
Hello.
And Stuart.
Right, Gav.
Guys, how you getting on?
You never introduced yourself.
Myself, I'm Gav.
But you never went. I'm your host as always, Gav. Is this a new?
It's been that long. I must have been. Let's start again, and I must have fucked up because it's been that long.
No, I was going to say new season, new you.
Nah.
New intro.
Hello, you're listening to Hibs Talk. I'm your host as always, Gav. Joining me today is Craig.
All right.
And Stuart.
Hi, Gav.
Hi guys, how you getting on?
Good, mate. Good.
Yeah, not too bad at this end. How are you getting on, Gav?
I'm good. Can't complain. Work's been no bad. It's a good weekend. Good, really good. Really excited about the new season of Hibs as well. Enough of that Scotland nonsense now. Now that's out the way. Concentrate on the proper football.
I think once every 23 years is enough. Let's be honest.
The
bank balance can't take it. The liver can't take it.
We go through enough disappointment with Hibs as it is. We don't need any more on a regular basis. Once every 23 years is fine.
Exactly.
At least we scored.
Yeah, we scored 1. Good goal, to be fair. But yeah.
It was.
So yeah, on today's show we've got 3 topics we're kind of going to be going through. We're going to be talking about, obviously, Sir David Gray. Wasn't on the notes when I done them yesterday, but we've added that in, obviously, after his announcement of his retirement. We're talking about fans returning after the Health Minister Leach talking about fans at full capacity if all goes to plan, and obviously the Edinburgh Derbies returning, so we'll have a wee chat about the Edinburgh Derbies as well. So yeah, full packed show today. So let's just have a chat about Sir David. I've got a little bit here from the club website which I was going to read out. So it says Hibernian I'll start that again. Hibernian can confirm that David Gray has formally announced his retirement after 7 glorious years with the club. However, the man who is already a legend in Leith is nowhere near ready to properly hang up his boots, as he's more than eager to further success at Easter Road after being appointed first team coach. The 33-year-old defender is delighted to stay on as part of Jack Ross's coaching staff and will continue to be a hugely influential figure in the dressing room, as he has been since he joined in July 2014. It's an absolute privilege and honour to play for Hibernian and captain the club. Now it's time for taking a next step in career, and I'd like to thank the gaffer and the club for this opportunity. I also want to thank the players I've played with throughout my time, and also a massive thank you to all the supporters for all their support they have given me. So, Craig, I mean, it's fair to say, he sort of mentions coming in 2014. It's fair to say he came in when the club was not in a good place.
Aye, and I think if I remember right, I was actually really underwhelmed by it, which I think a lot of Hibs fans were. You know, someone who'd kind of middle around the sort of Championship, League One for most of his career, obviously having been at Man United, and you know, we were at, like you say, we were at a real low ebb, and we needed someone. He wasn't really the type of signing that you were looking at that was going to, you know, inspire the club to get back to where we needed to be. But how wrong were we? How wrong were we? What a guy! What a guy! Honestly, like he's up there and surpassed the likes of Sozzy for me.
Wow,
as much as
Sozzy
is an absolute legend at the club, when you look at, you know, Sozzy was only really here for a short space of time. His reputation came with him. Gray kind of came from somewhat obscurity to be regarded as one of the greatest Hibernians ever.
And I think you're absolutely fair in saying that we've seen this season how Kilmarnock have gone about their transfer business once getting relegated. Hibs were a little bit slow in the start, doing a massive rebuild. We'd got rid of Terry Butcher, were preparing for life in the Championship. And yeah, I think saying you were underwhelmed by this guy who had played for Preston, he played for Burton, things like that. It's like, yeah, is this the kind of guy we're bringing in? And how wrong we were. Alan Stubbs clearly knew what he was looking for and who he was going to be bringing in there. Absolutely fantastic. And on top of the obvious fantastic moment, which having been a Hibs fan all my life and kind of knowing guys older than myself, there's hardly any Hibs fans that don't have that moment in their top 3. And it just shows. And it wasn't just that day, May, that he got on the end of the ball for the final one. It was just such a captain's performance, and it epitomised what he gave to us throughout his career with Hibs. Played with his heart on his sleeve, never gave up, constantly running. I'm sitting here with a bit of a tear in my eye, but a massive smile on our face as a thank you to what he's given us as well.
And I think it's. I mean, right back for me, when going back to that time, I know it was a real problem position for us. I mean, remember there was a few years we were playing the likes of Foster there and Danny McCormack for quite a while. We just couldn't seem to sign a right back.
Well.
Yeah,
Stevenson playing the right back as well.
It was nuts, but I don't know. And it was good to finally see an established right back coming in. And I mean, it didn't take us long to kind of, you know, become a big figure in our hearts. I mean, I remember that screamer at Easter Road against Rangers in the 4-0 win, the December of his first season. Just what a hit, and just like it just his attitude, you know, his willingness to get up and down the park just really shone through.
He must have a fair percentage of his goals at Hibs versus Rangers.
Must be.
His first career goal was for Hibs as well. He never scored until he played for Hibs.
Really? That surprises me.
I count 3 off the top of my head, 3 against Rangers.
Yeah.
The header at Ibrox, the strike at Easter Road, and then obviously the main one.
Yeah. So out of 7 goals, 3 of them were against Rangers. Brilliant. And the assist stats as well, obviously playing more of a wing back for us for quite a long time, but they're absolutely fantastic. Him and Lewis Stevenson bombing up and down the wings has to be some of the best football we have seen at Hibs in recent years.
Yeah. Just going to take a quick break to try and get Papa Stu back in and try and fix this. So hopefully this is working. This will get edited out the podcast, but thank you for everyone live for persevering with us as we try and get Papa Stu back on.
Just old people in technology.
That's exactly what it is. I'll change to the. I think he's got. Stuart, I heard you there. I think he had you on.
He must have the Twitch on in the background,
Hey!
Oh, he's on the other side.
Somebody kick that.
It was the microwave.
Should be you now.
Hello.
Oh, we
Hello.
can hear you, mate.
Right, good. Right, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Aye, it's okay. I don't know what happened. It just went dark, and I've been sitting in the corridor waiting for you to let me in. Sitting here.
We're just about to wrap up.
Aye, cheers, mate. Hello, how you doing anyway?
Aye, grand. So we're in the middle of talking about Sir David Papa Stu, so we'll come to you on it. So I'll come to you next. I mean, we were just sort of briefly talking on how he likes to he really got forward quite a lot and offered a lot, not just defensively but going forward.
Are you talking to me now?
Yeah. I'll let you go for there.
Aye. Well, I don't know what you have said. I don't know what to.
No. Step on everyone's toes. Just say what you want to say.
It was great to have someone who could defend properly at the back and also get on the overlap. That we got so many goals for him running down the line. When he could. These seasons that he was fit. And it was fantastic to see because how many times he got to the byline, and he used to. And what got me is he used to run back. Half-heartedly, he would run all the way back and get back into his position again. One of our best right backs, I would say, since probably John Brownlee.
And
that's saying something, by the way.
Craig, Papa Stu mentions the injuries there. I think it's fair to say, with the exception of maybe the 6 months where we played the 3-5-2 and Boyle played wing back, and obviously last season Paul McGinn, anytime Gray was injured, he was really missed from the team.
100%. I think the first season back in the Premiership, he only played maybe 7 or 8 times, and he was. I think when you look at it, 7 years, 177 appearances, whilst it does sound like a lot, it really isn't a lot when you think that, you've got 36 games in a campaign in the league. You're potentially looking at 40 plus if you include cup games. So he's probably missed about, I don't know, at least 60, 70 games over the course of his career at Hibs through injury. And it's been no coincidence that when he's been out, that we went through periods of struggle, until we brought in Paul McGinn, in the January last season, who kind of gave us that option that we didn't need to rely on Gray anymore. The injuries really did take their toll on him. But I was still surprised to hear the announcement this morning, purely because he was making a lot of noise at the end of last season that he was disappointed not to play more.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's just over the summer he's had an indication that his body's not up to it, or is it maybe the case that he wants to play but he didn't want to play for anybody else other than Hibs? It'd be interesting to see what the.
I think you're right there.
I think it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting that if this is a club-led move or a Jack Ross-led move, You know, if this is something that's been suggested to Ross by Matthew as a way of, you know, keeping him at the club to make him the first team coach. And I know we're going to go on to it, and it'll be interesting when it comes to things like management. If, you know, for whatever reason, Ross and Potter go, does Gray go with them, or does Gray stay? Almost like the John Kennedy. Is this going to be like a John Kennedy type role?
Aye.
For him at Hibs, where the management changes, but you know, the Heath kind of stays in place.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, we'll go to that onto that now. That was going to be next, but since you've already jumped ahead, we'll have a chat about it now. But yeah, so I mean, Stuart, your reaction is the first team coach, and could you see him sticking around if and when Jack Ross leaves?
Yeah, I see it very much as first team coach / club ambassador as well. He's definitely a guy you want in and around, and inspiring the team, inspiring the youth to kind of move forward as well. Maybe giving a bit more in the way of animation that we don't necessarily see from Jack Ross's side of things, as well. I think Craig pulled up a brilliant point about whether it's a bit to kind of appease him as well. We didn't necessarily want him kind of dropping down the leagues and things like that, and then just coming back to us within a year or so, anything like that, because it wasn't that long ago that himself and McGregor signed longer term contracts as well, with a view of kind of getting into the coach and the ambassador side of role as well with it.
I have to say, I mean, I know people are saying about, you know, appeasing them and stuff. I think it's more than that. I mean, the fact it's first team coach, you know, it's not just a coaching role, it's a first team coach. I mean, Papa Stu, that kind of, to me, screams like third in command. You know, you've got manager, assistant manager, and then first team coach. It's kind of like...
Well, it sounds like it. It's not as if it was like a Kevin Thompson or a Whittaker or any of these guys that were just going in to take maybe the 18s. He's going to be travelling with the squad, and he'll probably be taking the warm-ups to get them into the swing of things. He'll probably be taking the you know, maybe even when he's splitting them up before the game, the defenders, putting them through their piece, you know, like that. I would imagine that's what they'll be doing. So he's not going to be taking the 18s or the 20s or anything like that. So it sounds good. I noticed I was looking at his stats. He's the only club he's scored for is Hibs. He's scored 7 goals and he's never scored for anybody else. All these clubs that he's been playing for on loan.
Craig just making that point before you came on about the fact that it was his first goal was at Hibs. It's nuts, like for a defender that scores a lot of goals. Crazy to think that was his first goal. So I mean, I'll quickly go through these all, just a yes or no. Is he a future manager, Craig?
I think so. You know, the esteem that you only need to hear about the players that talk about and the esteem that he's held in. And this can only be a positive move for the club, in that, you know, the player's former captain is now in a coaching capacity. So I think he's well on his way. And it wouldn't surprise me if in 12 months' time we see the same kind of thing with McGregor. Yeah.
Stuart, future manager?
Very much so. I wouldn't want him stepping up immediately right after, I say, a Jack Ross departure, but maybe kind of let him go cut his teeth a little bit more in League One or Championship, then bring him back. Absolutely no doubt. The one thing that would kind of concern me would be if he was to take over management and it just didn't work out for him. Would it potentially break the kind of the good reputation that he's got at Hibs?
No,
yeah, but that's always. Sorry, you go.
Sorry, mate. It didn't happen with Sozzy. Like, we were hopeless under Sozzy as manager.
So David Gray is not for me for manager. Sorry,
why not?
But he's not got any experience. He's been club captain. So if
this is the start of his venture, though.
I know in the future, Stuart. No, right now. Like, further in the line.
So say Jack Ross leaves in 5 years' time. David Gray's been first team coach that whole time. Would you be comfortable with him stepping up?
Nah. It would tough to be. It'd tough to go away and do his cut his experience away another club. Are you going to see if it went wrong, right? everybody would be saying it's a cheap option. And then the next thing, Gray's the bad guy. He's no manager. And that experience to become a good manager takes at least, 5 to 10 years. Unless you just hit the ground running and you're very, very lucky.
Mowbray and Stubbs didn't manage before us.
Yeah, true.
Pardon?
Mowbray and Stubbs didn't manage before Hibs. John Collins didn't manage before Hibs.
Well, what happened? Apart from Mowbray?
We won 2 cups.
That's what I'm saying, apart from Mowbray.
Aye, no, but with Mowbray, we were one of the best teams to watch. Under John Collins, we won the League Cup, and then under Stubbs, we won the Scottish Cup.
Yeah, but where are they both now? I think is what Papa Stu's saying in terms of management.
But it's not talking about where they're. But what did they do at Hibs? That's 3 managers that never managed before.
Well, Stubbs had taken the reserves at Everton, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So he had a couple of seasons with them, and he had been. Did they know being second or third? I think he was. I think he was just with Everton reserves, and then. Mowbray, where was Mowbray? He didn't just come out of, no, he possibly did.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's the thing. Like, this is the start of David Gray's experience. You never know. It might be, a different manager comes in and he's the assistant manager for a few years. We don't know, but it's the start of the journey. I'm sure we could debate on how much experience you need to be a manager for quite a bit. But let's get back to the positives. Stuart, I'll start with yourself. That day in May, on you go. Let's rant away about that. We always do. Why not?
Exactly. Other fans say we talk about it too much, and we say to you, fuck you. We'll talk about it as much as we want. Yeah. Words almost can't express how magic that was. That season could have been a bit of a Netflix series for us all. The disappointment in the League Cup final, the playoffs, a bit of controversy about that, kind of being almost neck and neck with Rangers for so long, hitting the blip. Everything that could go wrong was going wrong for a good chunk of it. And going into that cup final, for some reason, I personally still thought we had a good chance with it. And it goes to show when they were doing the cup replay series recently on the BBC, you kind of forget, result aside, what a fantastic game it actually was as well. And obviously talking about the man himself, I touched on earlier, it was just a sheer captain's performance. The guy was running through brick walls for us. There was a point where it looked like he was going to have to come off injured. I think he would have had to have dragged him off the pitch. And the goal came from a very similar situation. It was just sheer determination to say, I'm winning this. I'm getting on it. And he knew exactly where he was putting it as well. And I've probably ranted on too much. I'll let the other boys
that's fine.
as well.
I mean, Craig, you spoke about, how fondly he's remembered. I mean, I think he would have always been fondly remembered if that day in May had never happened. He would have been remembered as one of the best right backs in quite a long time. But that just took everything to another level, didn't it?
That just elevated him to almost stratospheric levels. Adulation within the club support. Like Stuart says, there's a period where he goes in for a tackle and he's almost, he's limping quite heavily, and I'm sure right after it we make a substitution and it's Hanlon that goes off for Gunnarsson. But the commentators are convinced that Gray, like as soon as they see Gunnarsson on the touchline, they're convinced that it's Gray going off. So that last 20 minutes, that sheer drive and desire to, even if we hadn't have went on and won it, they're not going to let it go without a fight. And he's just, for that, I mean, that moment, that photo of him, it's when he's not even lifted the trophy. For me, it's when he turns round to receive it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like that split second where he looks at it as if to say, whoa, fucking hell. Like, you see him, he's like that.
Yeah.
He's going up the stairs as well. Like, he knows what's coming. And I put it on Twitter earlier. Like, even now, after everything, I still don't think he'll realise what that moment done for us. Because he wasn't one of us. He wasn't a Hibs fan.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
on
you go?
No, on you go.
I was going to say, Papa Stu, like, I don't think he'll realise, he'll never fully understand what that goal meant.
Well, I think he'll have thought he's had 5 years
People telling him.
about
Yeah.
celebrating and no buying a drink in Easter Road. I think he knew right away when he ran away at the corner. And the funny bit I like, or the best bit I like, was when he ran into the corner to the fans, and the policeman was there, and his bonnet got knocked off, and it was great. I just think that. I'm imagine scoring that goal for Hibs and just knowing that was it, because they knew when Rangers were on their arse when that happened. That was it. They couldn't believe, because there was about 5 of them round them. And
you must have seen the photo that's the long shot. It looks like there's about 9 of them. Every single one of them, their hands are on their knees. They're just in that crutch position going. They're absolutely buckled. There's nothing happening
what
from
reminds
them.
me of, Stuart? It reminds me of Bayern Munich when Man United scored the second goal and they were deflated. And they put their head down. They couldn't believe it. They never had another ounce of belief in them to get the ball and get up the park. And that's what Rangers were like. It was Hibs killed them then, and that was it. And it was great seeing them run away and probably.
I think one thing as well, when he
go.
does score the goal and starts running towards the ground, if you notice it, he actually tries to take his shirt off at one point as well. I'm absolutely delighted he doesn't manage it, because you lose that iconic picture of him punching the air in the Hibs shirt. As long as my mother's not listening to this, I've got a tattoo on it on the back of my leg. It's absolutely fantastic. And it's that kind of moment that is just so iconic. As well as the famous kind of Sky commentary as well, that goes in hand with it.
Yeah,
well, I've got a signed David Gray when the final whistle went. I've got it signed up there in the bar.
Fantastic.
I've got one behind me there. The recent Sean Nicol one signed with the commentary. It's
lovely.
But I mean the thing that you were saying about his legacy and stuff, it would have been quite easy for him to go, well, nobody's ever going to be that. I've done it, and just rest on his laurels. But you hear the way that people like Leanne Dempster and people like Kenny Miller, people that behind the scenes speak about how he was as a captain after that as well. Not just in that game, but after that. Leading us to the championship, leading us through troubling times with a manager departing, who will not go into about troubling times with COVID, that apparently he stepped up phenomenally through that. He's been a leader on and off the pitch this whole time, and he's just, a fantastic footballer, and also it sounds like a fantastic guy, and it's great that we'll have still got him around the club, and hopefully this is just the beginning of his, coaching journey, and it's hopefully quite an exciting one. But hopefully Jack Ross is here for at least 5 years and wins us 3 Scottish Cups in that time.
And he'll be back.
Stuart, if you ever get sick of that canvas print, I know a good home for it, and you wouldn't have to change the name or anything.
You're right. And the same spelling.
Exactly, it's perfect. Oh, mate, I didn't get you anything. I feel really guilty now. Oh, God.
So quickly we'll finish up with David Gray. Obviously, captain is vacated. Is it quite as simple as Paul Hanlon captain, Danny McGregor vice captain, or does Danny McGregor's future depend on that? And is there other people that should have to be in contention?
I don't know. I'd like to see us find somewhat of a leader over the summer and maybe take the pressure off of Paul Hanlon a wee bit. I think he's better when he's not got the armband on. I think that gives an added pressure that he doesn't play that well under. But I think it's a moot point. I don't see anyone else other than Hanlon, and then possibly Porteous as a wee sweetener to keep him. If it's a case of that he's wanting to go, we'll say, we'll make you vice captain, so it means that when Paul doesn't play, you're leading the team out. I think someone made a point earlier on as well about McGuinness.
Yeah,
obviously, captain at St Mirren. Good point.
Jack Ross made him captain at St Mirren.
Could you see us signing a captain, as in signing someone, bringing them in immediately, making them club captain?
No, I don't think that works. I don't think that's we've got any history doing that. And the only time we did do that was in recent memory was Liam Craig, and that didn't work.
I still would like to have a centre half or a centre midfielder who's blood and guts, a good captain there, rather than Hanlon. Yes, he talks, but it's not as if he goes about the park and rallies around. I think Craig said it before that he does chat and talks away to Doig and whatever. But a captain for me is a captain that's like,
it's not something you can teach.
Aye, and Hanlon, I don't think he'll take it away for Hanlon, but you need some. I don't know about anybody in the squad that we've got who is that type of player. Have we?
Yeah.
We've not really got a hard guy in the middle of the park that they would look up to.
I don't even necessarily think that we need to have that like stereotypical, almost Roy Keane captain. I just think we need someone who's a bit louder.
Aye.
Someone who'll go up to the referee and question everything. Who'll claim for a throw in when it's no. Who'll claim for a goal kick when it's a corner. Can we things like that? Like maybe someone who's a bit more streetwise would be the word. When you see it like with Hearts when they had Naismith, he was in referees' ears constantly. Scott Brown in referees' ears constantly. Like you go back over the years, Barry Ferguson, Fernando Rickson, players like that. Like
Craig, everyone you've just mentioned was a cunt.
I get that, but that's the point. I think that's what we lack at times.
I think it's a bit different when they're your cunt. That's the difference.
We do lack a bit. Neil Lennon, like, do you know what I mean? These types of players.
I tell you, any of these people, Craig, I'm selling it on me.
They're just. But if we had the thing is though, right? If we had one of them, I can guarantee you would fucking love it.
Aye. See, Craig, what you're saying there is that we've always been like this. Hibs have been so nice a team. We've always been like that. We play against Hearts and we get steamrolled all the time because they're always up for it and they're always, I don't know what is, but we just seem to just play football and then he get heard of. We're no that type of player. And that's where we need somebody, I would say, in the centre of the park. Somebody like a Matty Jack. Somebody there that's going to rally around and, as you say, fight for everything that's going on and have the tackles going in as well. But we've not got that. We've always been a nice team.
Yeah. I mean, anyway, we'll move on from there because this was just meant to be quickly a couple of names from each, and this went on a whole captain discussion, which I'm sure we could dedicate even more time to. I mean, my personal opinion, Paul Hanlon's the man for the job. I think, I understand what Craig's saying, but at the same time, I think Paul Hanlon has wore the captain's armband the whole last season, probably had one of his best seasons in a Hibs jersey, stats performance-wise as well, and obviously leading Hibs to the third in the league. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. I mean, I think it would be maybe a nice gesture. Maybe we need to get away from gestures and actually think about it and stuff. I think captains are overrated anyway. Maybe if Louis is going to be not playing as much, have Louis the club captain and keep Paul Hanlon as the on-pitch captain as he has been. But I don't know. I think let us know at HFC Talk and who you would have as captain and vice captain. Obviously an interesting one, and like I say, Porteous is a good shout for vice captain there as well. Obviously depending on McGregor's future as well, whether he sticks around or not. But anyway, let's move on to the next topic. Obviously let us know your favourite memories of Sir David Gray as well. So the next topic is all about the fact that we're heading back to Easter Road. We're starting to get some confirmation. Jason Leach, is that his name? Saying about how all going to plan after the 9th of August that it should be fine for full capacity. Craig, what was your reaction when you heard they're looking at full capacity after the 9th of August?
Well, my uncle Jason's pulled a rabbit out the hat. For context, he isn't really my uncle. We just weirdly share the same spelling of the surname. No, it's amazing. Especially now that it's, it's not going to be this whole ballots and who's going to get to go, if it's going to be, you're going to get a Derby game or an Old Firm game or whatever. Especially now that, we've all kind of moved seats, so we're all sort of going to be sitting next to each other. No, it's good. And I think it's finally, we've all kind of been looking for that sign that things are getting back to normal. You see places getting busier. Obviously, you guys being down south last week for the Scotland game. Those being able to share those moments again. And I think for us as football fans, we all know that things are truly back to normal when we're no wearing a mask, no socially distanced, all sitting on each other's laps, clubbing each other when Hibs score or whatever like that. That's the moment that we'll know that things are back to normal. And it's been a long time coming. I think we're all sort of fed up.
Yeah, I mean, Stuart, sorry. Stuart, it's our first home game is Ross County on the 7th, so 2 days before that, frustratingly. What if it is going to be the 9th? What did Hibs do for that game on the 7th? Did they just have nobody in, say, look, this is one final game without fans, and then have everybody in? Or do they do a ballots for that one game? I mean, a tough position to be in for 48 hours.
Yeah, it really is. It's one of those decisions, a little bit like we had on the run-up to the Cup final, sorry to mention that what was going to happen with regards to ticket allocation, things like that. You might find that there are still some supporters out there who are a little bit anxious about getting back out there. There may be a bit of an opt-out side of things with it, but yeah, certainly I think I'd be throwing my name into the hat to kind of be part of that crowd welcoming Hibs back to Easter Roads as well. Genuinely can't wait. I was going to bring up at this point, do we know if we've been given the green light for the 5,000 for the Arsenal game yet? Or is that kind of all just gone quiet?
I'm not sure because I don't know when Edinburgh are coming out level 2, so it wouldn't be if they're in a level 2 they couldn't do that. So I don't know what's happening with that. I never seen anything about the Arsenal game in recent memory.
But also, sorry, I'm on my soapbox rant here right now. Did we see the crowds for the Lions game at Murrayfield at the weekends? The bars outside Murrayfield, no social distancing whatsoever, just an absolute sea of people. You'd say it was a normal rugby game. Absolute disgraceful. And yet we are kind of begging to have 5,000 fans socially distanced for a friendly. It was absolutely ridiculous.
I know it's an opportunity to be at a big game, but I mean, to me, I want the first game back to be full capacity and everybody. I don't want 5,000 fans getting in and not having everybody in. I mean, like I say, Billy sort of pointing out there, maybe 9,000 spread out in a 21,000 seater stadium is possible, and for the Ross County game, but we'll have to see. Obviously, our first game with fans, I'll be interested to see whether away fans are allowed or not, would be the Dundee away game. But the first game at home, Papa Stu, would be Livingston on the 28th of August. Hibs have a real opportunity to make that a special day, don't they?
Of course, and they've got to pull, everything out that day and make it so special for everyone. Hopefully, they do something that even the families all turn up earlier and do something before the game to get everyone in earlier as well, rather than guys go to the pub and just turning up, maybe into the waiting in the queue, because there's going to be big queues if it's going to be full. So hopefully turn up and put something on so we all turn up earlier. But it'll be special. You seen the game? Who was it? Was it the Dutch playing in Hungary? Was it last night? I forget. You seen it? Alan McCoy said it. Says, what a difference with spectators in the ground. It's a different sport altogether.
Yeah. It's been missed so much. It's been hard to watch a lot of games on telly, and the Euros have been so much better as a result of it. I mean, Craig, I don't know what the restrictions or how they're getting on with the vaccines in France and stuff, but you mentioned them earlier on. Frank Saucy, is it too? He would have to isolate or whatever. I don't know what the restrictions are with France, but do we get France? I was talking about coming back. Do we organise it for the 28th?
I think maybe it'd be a bit too soon for some folk, because it will be. There'll certainly be a level of anxiety for some people. I know myself that the more I'm going out now, it's kind of, you're getting used to seeing lots of people again, given that this time last year the roads were empty. Mm-hmm. The only time I've seen the roads as quiet with everything opening back up again was the Scotland Czech Republic game, because everybody was either in the booze or whatever watching it. But no, that would be. I'm in the same boat as you. I didn't want to go back to 5,000 folks sitting here, there, and everywhere. Like my first game back, I wanted it to be at a full capacity Easter Road, and like the guys are saying, have it as a spectacle, like something for the day, like kind of big, almost like not like a cup winning party, but I remember when we won the first division the first time back in '99, and they done like came for kids. There was like music playing, there was like bands playing, there was magicians, there was clowns, there was all that, like maybe stuff like that, just to make it seem like the big event that it is, and also, you know, throwing a wee thank you to the fans that have stuck by the club financially over the last 12 to 15 months.
Well, we might get that because of Ron. You know,
the American. Yeah.
You know, he said that he wants to bring that to Easter Road for all the families in BNL, and that's what I was saying earlier. That I think that's what the kids to bring her, because that's your next fan base, and it would be good if he done something. You know, even in the car parks, it could be bouncy castle for the kids to get there, because you know all the parents want to go to the match, and you know it's good to. And when you have got, like, I've had the kids this, you know, for matches like when they were young, and it was great. So I just hope that they do something really big and get everybody. You know, they could have the fringe players there as well, the young laddies going about, and they could be having, you know, kicking the balls into goals and whatever outside. It could be doing anything just to get everybody along.
To be fair, I get what the guys were saying here, and I kind of wait to have a couple of beers on the floor, go over and have a bouncy castle, and then kind of get my face painted as well before going in. That'll be brilliant. But also, do we need to make it something more? It's going to be exciting anyway. We're back. That's the bottom line of it anyway. I'd more kind of prefer that we concentrated on stuff inside the stadium. There was obviously talk of video walls, getting the tannoy system updated and things like that.
Tannoy system has been done already.
Brilliant. So then that's more than enough for us, because we're all going to be back, hopefully. So
tannoy system and having everybody back's enough for you, Stuart. You don't need a big occasion.
I'm a simple creature.
I
want 3 points as well.
A tailgate with barbecues and what was it the Charleston Battery tweeted the other day? $4 hot dog and Bud Light flash hour sale or something. Give us one of them. Scotch pie and a tenant.
Well, speaking of Scotch pie, the contract for the food was up. I can't remember if it was going to be the COVID season that's just finished, or if it was going to be this season. But one way or another, it's a new contractor for the food. They've done a lot more of it in house. So I mean, I don't know if folk liked the food before and the staff before, but Craig, I mean, are you excited about the new food range that we're going to get?
Depends if it's going in with the greenest club in Scotland pattern. It's going to be a spinach and broccoli pie instead of a Scotch pie.
With a side of sawdust. Yeah.
Aye, no interest in none of that green stuff, as you can see for the waste. No, not at all. No, thank you.
But yeah, I mean, Papa Stu's, it's still quite exciting though. Like, you know, another thing to get excited about is I mean, I've missed a pie and a bovril or a pie and a coffee, but you know, new pies.
Do you ever go and pie?
Of course I do.
I know. It's as Stuart says, that it's the football that is the main thing. And yeah, just for them coming out and the referee to blow at 3 o'clock to start the game, I think it will be absolutely fantastic to just be there. And hopefully it's a right sunny day and you guys can't see anything in the east because you've not got a cap. So
me and Stuart are fine in the west, just waving at you.
You can't
see it.
You
can't see us.
There's my cap.
Okay. You gotta see it there.
Cap and sunglasses, no problem. I've always got that on me. I'm fine.
No, I'm in the famous.
I will get a reflection of your shiny heat, Gav, in the west. Blinded.
I know like what you're saying, Papa, about the missing the obviously just missing the football, but I mean it's a lot of things as well. You know, whether it be getting the train or getting the car in, you know, getting picked up, getting on the train, meeting Dave and Stephen on the train, walking up Easter Road, you know, and it's just all these little things which now, you know, you took for granted at the time. Obviously the things like, you know, when a big goals that goes in and you're hugging anybody in sight, just hugging every stranger, miss all that as well. Aye, like I said, still a bit anxious about hugging strangers, but I'm sure we'll get over that quick enough.
It'll be fantastic just to go on a Saturday for a couple of beers before the game, or a few beers, and meeting the guys. Because, you know, people are listening to this, but there's how many on their chat? How many is there? 14, 15?
Something like that, yeah.
Like that,
And we've never met. Well, sorry, there's about half a dozen of us I've met, but there's probably about, no, probably about 10.
I think we've all met at different, like we've all met each other like at different times, but we've never been
been on one company. So that's no, that could change at Easter Road.
Yeah. Aye, it's just like say I know Billy sort of mentioned there the Nesh bus. He gets the Nesh bus. I'm sure that's like little things like that everyone misses as well. Part of their match day routine, which just everyone's just so excited to get back to. Really exciting. So the final thing we're going to have a chat about is obviously the return of the Edinburgh Derby. Before we do, I'll do a quick thing for next week. We are, like I said, some people might have seen on Twitter. We are going to be doing every Monday 7 p.m. I've cleared it with my boss, so I'm now off Monday evenings. So yeah, I'll be here every Monday evening 7 p.m. with the guys, and we'll be doing the main podcast. We'll try and get other podcasts out in the week if Hibs are playing midweek games. Obviously Europe, hopefully a lot of Europe. We're looking at starting a Friday show, sort of like a Friday live show, looking at the match at the weekend. Probably a bit more stats heavy. Looking into that. And obviously a monthly show. Me and Craig are putting plans together for a monthly show, a monthly review, a player of the month, and then obviously getting a player of the year off the back of that as well. I think we're going to move Room 1902 to there as well, Craig.
It was just something different, rather than we can sort of condense the whole month into one, and sort of take a kind of magazine-y type look back at the month, rather than the serious thing. Because if we have a win, draw, or a loss at the time, we're all pissed off, and we never really get the chance to revisit it to see on reflection, was it actually a good thing or a bad thing. So I know I'm looking forward to it. We've had some good ideas between us already, so
aye, really excited about the content coming out this year. So make sure you follow us at HFC Talk on the socials, and you know, on Twitch and things like that. Follow on Twitch, subscribe on Twitch if you want. We could do with the money with the more stuff we're doing. But yeah, so, and also, like I say, next week we're going to be doing a deep dive of the squad. We're going to be looking through, obviously, hopefully there's some transfers to talk about in the next week, but it seems pretty quiet at the moment. We'll talk about who's potentially could leave, who's going to stay, who we need to stay, who we need to let go, all that. So that'll be Twitch and YouTube and Facebook live 7 p.m. next Monday, and then obviously, as this one is, up as a podcast straight after that. So there's our wee plug for next week. So let's get chatting about Edinburgh Derbies. Craig, have you missed them?
No. No, I fucking hate them. I genuinely hate them.
Why do you hate them?
Because I always go into them thinking this is the time we're going to give them a doing, and it never ever happens. Like, one way or another, they managed, like, the one last season, they'd played, 3 games, and they hardly trained for about 4 months, and we still couldn't fucking beat them. They had Andy Halliday running on empty, Stephen Naismith with his glass legs, like, and we still, like, even the kind of wee things like Nisbet's penalty and all that, and just those wee moments of luck. I've never known a team to be so fucking jammy in my entire life. And it probably even stretches back to Stuart's days, knowing that, what was it, back in the 70s, Hibs were fucking dominant. Like, Hibs couldn't lose against them.
70s were boy big, but see the 80s. John Robertson scoring all these goals, and they scored in the last minute. Always the last couple of minutes. It was always, and as you say, there must be the most jammiest team going. They get all the breaks. What do you say? And the only time that we've really been, we have been dominant against them was Alec McLeish.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he lost, and with Sozzy playing against them, didn't he lose? But it goes back to what our team are like. Stuart, we're too nice, and we come up against Hearts. They've always got the guys at 6 feet 3, 4, and they're just plodders and they just batter you. And it's nice playing football sometimes. However, we're too nice.
Yeah, how many retrospective red cards do they get? How many goals of theirs are offside or dodgy decisions in the build-up to them? We get ones chopped off that are perfectly fine. But you know what? I'm going to contradict Craig here. I love the Derbies. Yeah, they didn't go our way a lot of the time. We must have one of the worst head-to-head records for Derbies outside of Everton. But bloody hell, I love them. It's the build-up of the week going to it. Kind of way I always kind of travel up for them. I make sure that I'm there. And it's why you have your season ticket. It's why you're a Hibs fan, for me.
I prefer the ones at Tynecastle. If I'm being totally honest, I prefer the ones at Tynecastle. Purely because you kind of guaranteed to be melted before you get in the door. Because you're always at the Murrayfield or the Roseburn for like 8 in the morning, and then you've got the march after. The march is the best bit. Going under that bridge, going under the tram and rail bridge is the fucking best bit of the day. If I could do that and then just go home, I'd be fine.
I have to say, I wait to double check it there, and I am right. The last Hibs home game was the 3-1 to defeat to Hearts at Easter Road. How many Hibs fans left Easter Road not realising that would be the last time they'd be in Easter Road for a year and a half? Nuts. Like, because
I think at that
the place
point,
was
most of them would
empty
have been
at
quite
full
happy
time.
to hear that.
It's crazy the amount of people that never seen Hallberg's goal, and understandably it was a horrible performance. But sorry to bring it down a bit there. Let's bring it back up. Papa Stu, what's some of your favourite derbies? Favourite derby moments, even or games?
Yeah, 6-2, of course. That was one of the best.
You can tell us about the ones in black and white, Stuart.
Well, I was too young to go to the 7-0, but I liked the game at Tynecastle when Stevie Archibald scored. I was behind the goals. There's an iconic photo of Steve Archibald with his hands in the air, number 8 on his back to the crowd when he scored. I think it was at 2-0 or 2-1. Can't remember, but he scored the goal.
2-1. Is that the one with Kano set up with a bicycle kick at the halfway line?
Aye.
Yeah.
And he ran on and scored. The guy was amazing. One of the best players at Easter Road.
Craig, your favourite? Sorry. Craig, your favourite derby moments?
To be fair, I've been lucky enough that since I started going to the games in '98, I've probably missed about 5 or 6 home and away. So there's been a lot of fucking stinkers in there, let me tell you. But probably the last 2 Christmas ones at Tynecastle. So we Alfie's got a 100% 2 out of 2 record at Tynecastle, which I think two wingers scoring a double as well. The Horgan game and the Boyle. But I think for what it meant at the time, I think it'll be hard pressed to find Paul Hanlon's one.
Yeah,
a better one than that. Like, I was there for like the Millennium Derby and stuff, and they were good, but Paul Hanlon's one, like that was our like Graham Weir moment when they won 4-4, like we won 2-2.
Yeah,
that day. Yeah. That was that Paul Griffith's free kick was good, but they'll probably go Hanlon.
Stuart, I know all the good ones have been taken, but what any other ones you want to add on?
No, not at all, mate. For me, there's kind of ones like the Rob Jones goal on the way to winning the CIS Cup final when we absolutely dominated them. I think it's fair to say we fucked them 1-0 that day with it. But one of my favourite ones was probably a bit more of a scrappy derby. We had Grant Bremner sent off for what I thought was no bloody reason whatsoever at the time. And we kind of held on with 10 men, and Gary O'Connor scored bloody late on. And it was we only had 10 men. I ended up about 4 rows in front of where I should have been in the celebrations, which is absolutely fantastic. That's probably one of my favourite derbies.
Yeah, I've
I was,
mentioned
you know
that
what? I
story
was stupidly thinking of just Tynecastle there. That's raised a fair point. The one where they came to Easter Road having won, what was it, 8 out of 11 games, 9 out of 10, 11 games, something like that.
Yeah.
And Burley had just been sacked the week before.
The unbeatable derby. Yeah.
Aye, Boozy and O'Connor 2-0. That one was good. And then the 2 recent cup ones as well.
Yeah,
that we won.
What about you, Gav?
I mean, I've spoken about it quite a bit in the past. The one Stuart mentioned there, Gary O'Connor's goal in the last minute, it's like just because of the age I was as well, it just kind of really summed up how, you know, I don't think I've ever celebrated a goal other than David Gray's that much. Just pandemonium, and like I say, the ones at Tynecastle as well, have all been brilliant. And like I say on my notes as well, obviously in terms of, you know, derby moments, the marches are always brilliant as well. But Craig, you've already kind of touched on them, and yeah, they're just I can't wait for them. Obviously we've got the March 1st, and then we've got an Edinburgh derby at Easter Road to look forward to as well. 2nd of January. So really exciting stuff.
So, Mum, if you're listening, I'm coming home for Christmas.
But yeah,
get the crap off my bed.
So yeah, some really exciting things to look forward to this season. What the Hibs team, like I said earlier, what the Hibs team's going to look like, we're going to have a look at next Monday, 7 o'clock, up as a podcast after that. But yeah, the return of the derby, return of fans. It's a really exciting season. Hibs are in a good place squad wise. I'm really excited. But yeah, and like I say, and in terms of Hibs talk point of view, we've got even more content coming. Still got the press conferences, so follow us at HFC Talk for that. Guys, you's off to watch the football?
I'm that.
Yep. Aye. Got it on right now.
You've already got loaded up, brilliant. Well, I'll let you
go. Don't worry,
this.
Gav. I'm paying attention. I'm focused on you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Stuart. That's why you're my favourite.
I'm still the worst contributor, but I'm focused. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for coming along and chatting today. Like I say, we'll be back next Monday.